What's up, Blockheads? I am leaving Seminole Harley-Davidson, and we just installed or finished dynoing the stock tune on the 131 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 kit, so the big bore kit upgrade. This is like my first ride on it with that tune, so I figured I'd give you guys my first thoughts and impressions. I'm currently about to get on Interstate 4, but after I get off of Interstate 4, I'm going to be getting onto like some more, you know, slower roads so that we can feel it in stop and go and all that stuff. Currently 6th gear, 80 miles an hour at just under 3,000 RPM, and it is sprinkling. So not the best road conditions to do a first ride thoughts and impressions video on, unfortunately. But we're gonna do it anyways because it's life, I guess. Alright, so one of the things I absolutely love about the cam that comes with this bike is the fact that it is a mid to high range cam. What that means is, instead of being torque all down low, I can pretty much shift the gear, not even shift the gear, I can pretty much get on it, and we're going, even at these speeds. So it pretty much starts to kick in 3,000 RPMs-ish. Man, just as I like want to demonstrate, it starts raining a little more and traffic starts backing up a little bit. Mucho dislike. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Just going. Obviously, if it wasn't raining, I might be a little bit more aggressive, but it is, and I don't, you know, want to put myself at risk. With the cam that they give you in the kit, like I said, it's more that mid to high range cam, and so whenever you're going a highway and interstate speeds, that basically gives you power in those higher RPM bands, and that is incredibly useful in scenarios like this, right, where you're riding on the highway or interstate, I-4. I like that a lot just because, like, the most miles that I've put on this bike is thus far has been interstate or highway, like toll roads and stuff like that. So I like having the ability to, you know, get on throttle and have that power there because, like, I don't have to downshift as much anymore. And then down low, I mean, it's still incredibly torquey, and the horsepower was, you know, nothing to shake a stick at. Isn't that the saying? Nothing to shake a stick at or shake your finger at? Or I'm really bad with sayings, I've found out. Like, I don't know why I can't remember sayings. I just end up kind of like combining a bunch of different ones. Like that hat in the running and ring one. I always say throw your hat in the ring or some shit. I will say, with the upgraded clutch, the performance clutch, I can feel in the clutch lever that it is much stiffer, but that's to be expected with the stiffer clutch springs. But hey man, if that's what's gonna, you know, transfer that power to the back, I'm totally good with that. I can just work out my hand a bit, you know, buy one of those little hand scrunchy things and get my left hand dexterity up. Dexterity, is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. One of the cool things I did like about the 131 kit as well, whenever I rode it, I mean, how long ago was that? Like 9 months or a while ago? Doesn't seem like that long ago, but I know it was a while back. So whenever Seminole Harley-Davidson said, hey, we've got a 131 kit, you want to try and ride it? And I was like, yeah. And you guys remember that test ride? I was basically laughing, you know, giddy like a schoolgirl the entire time. I immediately knew that I wanted the 131 just because I was like, oh yeah, I would love to have that giggle switch all the time. Yes, please. So one of the things I did love about that whenever I went on those test rides is the fact that you can actually cruise and it's comfortable. So like right now, you know, I'm like at 85 miles an hour just cruising. If I wanted to throw, you know, cruise control on, I could, but I don't because wet roads and cruise control don't mix, and traffic. Yeah, that's one of the good things about it is that you can just like kind of cruise. It's not like one of those kits that, like, from what I've heard, it just kind of makes the bike like unrideable. Not necessarily unrideable, but like unrideable in certain conditions. And so you guys know, like, I like to have this bike to actually ride it, you know, and we've got plans to do some longer trips and all that stuff. Yeah, man, like I wanted it to be usable power, street usable power, and I think this accomplishes that. I know there's some kits out there that are like more crazy grunty, like low-end tire shredder, like drag inspired, I guess, and like they've kind of got all their power in like lower power bands. Well, I don't I didn't necessarily want that, you know. It's like I want to still be able to cruise, and in my opinion, it does that very well. I was taking it kind of easy in that previous video where I basically rode the bike to Daytona and back, and that was, you know, like 100 and, I don't know, just over 100 miles or so. And yeah, it was perfect the entire time, and I was pretty much sitting between, I don't know, I mean, to be totally honest, I was sitting between 80 to 100 miles an hour the entire time, and it was great, no complaints. I do want to see how this will do like low end though. Like, I want to get on it a bit, you know, like if we're doing some pulls. Come on, man, get off the freaking side, throwing water at me, damn, bro. All right, let's downshift, see how it does. Jumping ahead. Perfect. Solid, eh? My exit's coming up, otherwise I'd try to keep up with him. I mean, that's in 6th gear, feels good. It's the thing, the power is just always there, man. I love it. Such a different bike now, which, I mean, as predicted, it should be. Getting like way more displacement, getting a new tune, a much different cam setting, so it changes up the power band. Obviously, this is just like first ride thoughts and impressions, and as I, you know, have the bike, we'll end up giving you guys like a long-term review, as per usual with like everything that I do for like product reviews and stuff like that. You guys know I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I just want you guys to know like what the real experience is. Thus far, it has been incredibly pleasant. I think the only thing that has been a surprise thus far is, you know, having to take care of the upgrading the clutch. But I mean, that was kind of to be expected as well. A little bit of a surprise, but not too much of a surprise. And I would rather just go ahead and bulletproof that now than, you know, later down the road. I think what has made it such a great experience thus far also has just been the quality of service at Seminole Harley-Davidson. Like, you know, working with Chris has just been an absolute pleasure, so really appreciate that. Once again, big shout out to Seminole Harley-Davidson and Chris. Appreciate you all. Zero effort, and you're just, it's great. Seriously great. It's kind of like riding a sport bike, to be honest. Except much torquier. Oh no, the big rain, no! The rain messed up my last GoPro mic adapter, so I can't let it mess this one up too. Hope we get out of this soon. I think every time I've ridden back from Seminole Harley-Davidson for the past like, what, 3 days, 4 days, I've gotten rained on. Just the difference in power is massive. I love it. And the fact that it's there when you want it, but it's not like that amount of power that's annoying. I don't know if you guys have ever ridden a bike that it's meant to go fast, and if you don't go fast, it just feels like you're hurting the bike. Does that make sense to you guys? Whenever I had my CBR600RR, or like hell, even like the R6, it's like one of those bikes that it just wants to freaking go. Like, that's what it's built for, you know? If you don't treat it like that, if you don't ride it like that, it feels like you're doing a disservice to the bike. And so like this bike now has the ability to be hella quick, but you're able to just cruise too, which is nice. It's nice to have both. Thus far, all good. Like, one of the concerns that you guys have a lot is, you know, am I feeling like the heat on my leg? And I haven't really had the chance to like be in stop and go traffic, so I haven't really had any issue with it or noticed it really thus far. More displacement, obviously, like I would expect for it to create more heat. But the awesome thing about the Milwaukee 8 is the oil-cooled heads, and so that's obviously working with us. Having previously owned the 110 twin cam Dyna Low Rider S, I do know what that feels like, and that thing would just absolutely cook your leg. I definitely would like to do that test where like we let like a stock one start up and run, and like we'll start this one at the same time and let it run. You just like not move it and see what the temps get up to, and then maybe also do that with like a, you know, 110 Low Rider S and see what happens with that. Just as a test, you know. I think it'd be insightful. Doing a lot of research with these for you guys, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the discovery process. Engine braking with it. Pretty normal. Feels good. Love the idle. I don't know, guys. I'm just a real big fan of that 2-to-2 sound, but we're going to throw a 2-to-1 on it just to see what kind of power numbers that we get. I like the sound of a 2-to-2. I like the look of the Bassani sweepers as well. You know, it's not like, you know, the 2-to-1 like Dynabro special that everybody has. A little something different, you know. So we can keep up with the Tesla. This thing rips. Damn. But yeah, I don't know, like personal preference, I'm a fan of the 2-to-2. And then it's one of those things, like whenever I had the 114, obviously it was just like, yeah, it's got plenty of power, like I'm really not worried about like losing a few horses, you know, losing a few horsepower. Like it's got a good amount of power. But like seeing the numbers today, it's like, man, how much power am I actually losing? Well, we're gonna go ahead and get a 2-to-1, get that thrown on, and you know, dyno it again, and we'll see what the difference is. Honestly, if it's like 4 horsepower, I really don't care at that point. I'll end up going back to a 2-to-2. So we're basically just going over to a 2-to-1. If it does have significant power gains, I will keep it. If it does not have significant power gains, then I'll just sell it. We're doing it in the name of science.
Yes, science.
Yeah, science. Woo! I need better brakes. That's a good problem to have, I guess. I got to relearn like the friction zone of this clutch. I mean, it is a much stiffer clutch now. So between those shifts, I need to pause a little bit more. I don't want to, you know, burn those plates. So, all right. So say we're chilling here, 60 miles an hour. That's 6th gear, 2,000 RPM, downshifts, or 3,000 RPM. Whew, it's loud. God. Holy shit. This thing wants to rip your arms off. Alright. Let's get like one more pull before we end the video, and we'll leave it at that. Just to give you guys a taste of kind of that first ride thoughts and impressions. First ride thoughts and impressions, though, there's a lot of power here, guys. Alright. Front wheel came up. God. Yeah, so I'm glad it kept traction because the front wheel totally came up. Going, what, into second? Woo, it's crazy. Alright, so we'll do another pull. We're 5th gear. Let's drop it down to like 3rd, going at 50, just to see how it climbs. I feel like counting down, but there's nobody against me. So 3, 2, 1. Yep. Oh, my heart is pounding right now. I love it. Oh, I freaking love it. All right, well, hopefully this video was insightful for you guys. Wow, just, that's the biggest words I can say right now. Is just, I mean, I'm not even at 100% throttle there, but just insane. Like I said, hope it was insightful. If it was, hit that like button. If you guys want more content like this, you're wanting to see some more, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. And until next time, ride safe, stay vigilant. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Oh, she's a monster. Holy shit. All right. Peace.